leaders, real genuine leaders, are the ones that look at what other people are doing and do the opposite. That's why you are good at what you do, because you see what's missing. You create intelligent solutions.
The main mission for this series is to inspire people to get up off the couch and to become masters of their own destinies.
You've got 20 strong women.
It better not be hokey with a bunch of wannabes.
I'm not in this to play small.
How is that dynamic going to work?
I'm here for real, lasting change.
I let go of what I think is possible, and I open myself to all possibilities.
It's all about expansion, transformation, and then we're going to go out and be of service to the community.
At the very root of it, it's our humanness that we're getting in touch with, and that's where change in our world will happen.
We all have that in common. We want to be able to help the world.
These leaders are thrown into a situation where they need to face their greatest fears.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I'm pretty terrified.
All great things happen because people take risks. You have to be ready to jump.
Help me to reflect on the things that I've been lying to myself I can't do and that I can't achieve, and everyone around me is telling me that I can, but I'm telling me that I can't. From now on, I'm not going to lie to myself anymore, because I won't lie to others, so why would I lie to myself? I can do this.
We all need to be able to step up and take our places. The world needs us.
It's not just your right to go and claim this leadership in what you do. It's your duty.
Welcome back to RippleFEST, guys and girls. I'm so excited to welcome you back to day 3. How do we get to day 3 already? Absolutely crazy. I cannot believe how fast this last few days has gone. If you're not moving your butt yet, if you've got boobies, you need to jiggle them. If you've got a butt, you need to wiggle it. And if I don't see you wiggling and jiggling your butt and giving us a hashtag wiggle my butt in the comments in Facebook, I'll be very, very disappointed. Guys and girls, welcome to day 3 of RippleFEST. My goodness, what an honor it has been to serve and support the voices and the messages of our global ripple makers all over the world. If you've enjoyed it so far, let us know in the comments. Oh, goodness me, got a little frog in my throat there. Now, for those of you that have just joined the community, I want to give you a big, big, big warm Ripple Makers welcome. I see Debra Sofia has been busy inviting people to the group. Absolutely amazing. We're going to hear from Debra Sofia later on today. And if you've only just joined us today, do not worry, because if you've missed any interviews, they're all in the group for you. In fact, let me just share my screen. I'm going to show you where to find everything. All right, I'm just going to give you a very quick whistle-stop tour within the Facebook group to let you know where you can find all of the things that we're sharing here at One Drop Movement. So when you come into the One Drop Movement group, if you go to the tab here that says guides on it, And within the guides, you'll actually find that there are some really good things in here already. If you haven't checked the guide section of the group out, we've got a 5K in 5 days challenge. You want to bring in an extra £5,000, dollars or euros pretty quickly. There's a whole challenge in there that will help you to do that. We've got inspirational quotes and things that I've created as desktop screensavers. I'm saving them all in there. We've also got a 5 dream customers in 5 days challenge in here as well. So if you want more customers in a shorter amount of time, there's also a great challenge in here for you. We did a Christmas kindness challenge. So that was 25 days of small things that we did for other people to go out and be that ripple of kindness in the world. Now that was leading up to Christmas. It was like a Christmas calendar. However, you can do any of these things at any time. You might want to wait till Christmas to do those. There are some visualization and meditations in here, but as you'll see here, it says RippleFest Summits, Guide 7. And you'll find all of the RippleFest interviews from the very first RippleFest Summit that we ran in May. So there's all the interviews there. And you'll see that all of the interviews from this RippleFest, which is currently being filmed in June, and you'll see that day 1 and day 2 have already been put up into the guides, and as soon as we've finished going live here today, this will also be added to the group. So there you go. If you haven't been able to get in and access everything, do not worry, it is all there. I am just going to just one second. We've got some people that have requested to join the group. Let me make sure that I get them all added in here. So guys and girls, as I add these new Ripple Makers into the group, it's wonderful to see so many people coming in to join. I'd love to know from you, what would be the one thing that if you took action on it, you would really move the needle in your business? What would be that one thing? Let us know in the comments. And guys and girls, if you are joining us on Zoom right now, can you please make sure that you put all of your comments under the Facebook live that we're streaming right now, because otherwise people in Facebook, they can't see what you're typing in Zoom. So I'm just really excited to hear, like, what would be that one thing? Because you know what it is already. You already know what it is, but maybe you're not doing it. Maybe something's stopping you from going out and doing the things that you know you need to do. So what are they? What are those things that are stopping you? Because the entrepreneurs that I'm going to be interviewing tonight, they have had things that have tried to stop them too. And I'm going to be digging into some of those things. But what happens when something is a sticking point, when something does get in the way of your movement and your mission and what you're wanting to achieve? We've all had curveballs, health challenges, kids, moving home, all of the things that get in the way on a daily, weekly or monthly basis. But how do you manage? How do you keep that ripple of impact going for yourself as much as for everyone else? So I'm going to be digging in with our Ripple Makers tonight to find out what they do when they come up against challenges. So I have an amazing grand finale lineup of incredible change makers, ripple makers and influencers who are going to be gracing the screen tonight. And I want to remind you, especially for those of you that are joining us now, RippleFest it's a festival of ripples. If the clue's not in the title already, right? You are a ripple maker. You've been making ripples in people's lives for many, many years. And now you're probably feeling the calling, otherwise you wouldn't be here with us right now. You're probably feeling the calling to go higher, to go deeper in your business, but to rise higher, to go further than you've been before. And the possibilities are infinite when you jump in. The minute that you decide, yes, I am a ripple maker. Yes, I am going to own it. I'm going to own my identity. I'm going to own my value. I'm going to stand in my gift and be strong in my gift. I'm going to commit to my purpose. I'm going to own my lane as I do it. So I'm going to be so in lane that I'm not going to look left. I'm not going to look right. I'm just going to look forward and I'm going to go for my goal. I'm going to achieve it. Because on the other side of you making that impact is income for you. And the more you make, the more you can give. The more you make, the more peace you have. The more you make, the more choices you have. The more you make, the more you can drop forward. So let's just really make that commitment to ourselves and to each other that we are going to support each other, to go further and rise higher, but we're also going to look after ourselves as we do that. That's a really key thing. And in fact, I think all three Ripple Makers that I'm going to be interviewing tonight have all had a health challenge at some point in their life that has been a really strong guiding point behind what they're doing. I know it was a catalyst for me. I'm not here to tell my story tonight, though. I'm here to spotlight these amazing Ripple Makers tonight. And there are health challenges that have affected each and every one of them. And that is one of the reasons they're doing what they do today. So my darlings, give me a hashtag ready to ripple in the comments below if you are ready to ripple. I'm really looking forward to diving in with these three Ripple Makers tonight. And I'd love for you to summarize your light bulbs and your learnings and things that the speakers say. You think, oh, that's quote worthy. Type it into the comments so that they can remember. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm speaking, I couldn't tell you what I've said once I've finished. And when you're in flow, it's so nice when other people write things down for you and capture those moments and capture the things that you say, because then you can look back and you can see what are the things that have really touched the people that are listening. So today we are going to start off with going deep with Chris Waldron. We're going to head on straight from Chris into Debra, Sofia, Magdalene, who's here to see Chris, who's here to see Debra. And then we're going to have our grand finale, Miss Amanda Frolich, who's here to see Amanda. Give us a whoop whoop, give us a yes, yes, yes in the comments. This is a live interactive session, so make sure you are interacting in the comments there. Now, these three incredible change makers, ripple makers, impactors, influencers, they said yes to their vision. They're still saying yes to their vision because our vision grows each and every day, right? You don't just set a vision and then off you go, you set off on course and nothing happens along the way and everything's perfect and you know you just go from here to here to here and it's just a process. No, because we're living, we're enjoying, we're loving, we're learning, we're transforming, we're doing so many things on a daily basis that take us to where it is that we're heading to. But when you say yes to a vision, what you're really saying yes to is growing yourself, being prepared to just keep saying yes. Like once you said yes to your vision, you can't start saying no to stuff, because then that's like having your foot on the brake and the accelerator at the same time. It's going to be a very jumpy road ahead. But when you say yes and you keep saying yes, just like these influencers and change makers said yes to their vision, they then said yes to their purpose and they said yes to themselves. So I can't wait to introduce you to all three of these amazing change makers tonight. But before I do, there is one special announcement that I want to remind everybody about. I have sent emails out to everybody today, just in case you're not on our list and you didn't get to hear about it, or you haven't seen your emails, or maybe you've been under a rock. I've announced today that I've launched a brand new feature in our online community. So currently we are streaming this live into the Facebook group, the One Drop Movement Facebook group, but we do actually have an online portal. It's a hub. We have lots of training, we have our masterminds, we have our memberships, we have products, online courses. They are all up in a technology that we use called Circle. And one of the things that I've launched today is called the Brand Advice Center. And so every day I'm going to post a piece of advice or some tips or some strategies, things that I've learned along the way. And I'm going to be posting them in there. So if you haven't already received an email, if you haven't clicked through, if you haven't gone and signed up to be a part of the Brand Advice Center, then make sure you do. I actually put a link to it in the description with this live video. So if you head across to Facebook, find day 3 live video, and go to the description, click on the link. It's onedropmovement.circle, and then it's got all the hashtags and things like that in it. So if you click on the link and go across there, then you'll find I think I've got 11 articles that I've posted up there so far. So there's some good juicy stuff in there for you to already get your teeth into. Today, I think I posted something about personal branding. So if you're wanting to build a personal brand at the same time as your business brand, there's great stuff that I'm going to be sharing in there, because the more you build your brand, the bigger the ripples you make. The more trust you build and the more credibility you build in yourself and your business, the easier it's going to be to convert strangers into friends. and then convert those friends into customers, and then convert those customers into lifetime customers, and not just have a client relationship once, but have a lifetime of business and serving and support, and an amazing juicy journey with those customers. So go across, make sure that you sign up to that, and I'll look forward to seeing you across there. And you can leave comments and things underneath it, so if there's any questions you have as you read through the things I'm posting there, you can always put a comment in, and I will do my very best to respond to you the same day. So let's get our global ripple makers on the stage. We are going to kick off with the amazing Chris Waldron. Chris is somebody that I met only about, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago. It was very recent that I met Chris. We happened to be at the same event in London, and he was with a friend, and I was there feeling a bit lost, if I'm honest. I was actually attending the event, and usually when I'm speaking at an event, that's usually what I'm doing when I'm at an event. I very rarely go to events that I'm not speaking at, and so I've got a purpose. But this time I was there to learn, I was there to soak in, I was there to be the sponge. And because I was there on my own, I was sat there on my own, kind of waiting for all the things to kick off. And bless, Chris and his friend John came over and started talking to me, and we hit it off immediately, fell in love with the both of them. They're absolutely phenomenal ripple makers. And Chris went on to join the Ripple Makers Mastermind not long after. So I've had the pleasure of really getting behind Chris's business, behind his vision, what he's building, who he's building it for. And what a phenomenal change maker. And I've had to do a bit of research on Chris to find out more about his background in other things, because I only know the Chris that I know. So I've been doing a little bit of digging to share with you some things about this phenomenal change maker that I'm about to introduce you to. So Chris is the catalyst behind the Grand Victorian Door Company, and he's also the founder of Oopworks, an outdoor adventure company that takes business owners on expeditions and wild camping trips up mountains. Who likes the sound of that? Give me a hashtag mountain if you'd like to go on a fun adventure. I mean, it sounds really cool. I'm well up for this, Chris. I need you to send me the details of that. So Chris has been wild camping for nearly 30 years, spending hundreds of days up in the mountains, but it wasn't always this way. 23 years ago, Chris had a stroke, a cerebral hemorrhage, and he was just 23 years old at the time. Nobody told him that part of your brain actually dies. So for the last 2 decades, he's been under the impression that he could get over it and just live a normal life. But he kept pushing himself to achieve more. And then as the years went by, just a few years ago, he was also then diagnosed with ME, which is chronic fatigue syndrome. And that was brought on by trauma. Over the last 20 years, he's had some pretty awful shizzle to deal with. And that's how he's found himself spending so much time up in the mountains and in the wild to escape the stress that trying to live a normal life brings. Being with people up in the mountains reminds Chris that we all have something to deal with. So let's climb this RippleFEST mountain right now. Let's get Chris onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Chris Waldron. I'm having such a good time, having a ball. If you want to have a good time, just give Chris a call. Chris, welcome to RippleFEST, my friend.
Hello, how are you?
I'm absolutely bloody marvelous. Chris, I'm so excited to dig into your journey. I mean, first of all, to find out that you've had a stroke at 23, that must have been, I mean, that's a young age to have a stroke. What led to you having a stroke so young?
Singing in a band, and
Really?
that's it, nothing else. Yeah, we're just practicing one evening, and I sang and played guitar and shouting at the top of my voice, some Who song, just bang, worst headache you've ever had, and there you go. Yeah, so
wow. And you find yourself on a totally different journey. Well, Chris, I mean, you've been through so much. You've set up a few businesses, you've been on a real kind of up and down road, and everybody here that's tuning in, I'm sure, is a business owner. So because you've been through so much, I'm sure it's going to be pretty challenging to pick just one oh fuck moment that you've had over the years in business. But if you could just pick one, what oh fuck moment would it be?
Oh fuck, as in how do you mean oh fuck?
As in, oh fuck.
There's loads of stuff. There's hours. There's a book there somewhere.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I mean that was, you know, it was a long time ago now, of course, but you know, we jumped in my mate's car. I'll take you to hospital, and crashed 3 times on the way there. Yeah, crashed 3 times on the way there, and then the doctor just wanted to give me cocodamol, send me home, and then my friend grabbed him by the neck and threatened his life, and I ended up having a CAT scan in Nottingham, and then the week after, someone cutting a hole in my head. So yeah, that was
wow.
And he actually said if you'd have gone home, there was something like 5% chance of living or so, you know. And the week after, a 17-year-old had a brain hemorrhage and died. And but yeah, really strange.
That puts things into perspective a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did a bit, yeah.
what I mean, you know, when something like that happens, very rarely as entrepreneurs and business owners are we actually prepared for that, especially if you're the only person in the business, i.e. the key man in the business. Were you in business at the time? How did that affect your job or your business?
No, I was working in a factory, sort of running it. And yeah, and you know what the really strange thing is that I think about 6 weeks or 2 months later, I was back working, and it was just like, it was really alien. It was just very strange, but I wasn't in any position to do any different, you know. So yeah, it didn't go too well.
So you go back to work and you continue building that career, I'm assuming. So where did the point come in your life where you thought it was a really good idea to set up your own business?
When I was 11.
Oh my God,
yeah,
you're a treasure chest, you are.
My mum and dad used to take us to a cash and carry, and we'd set a stall out. The footfall was really low. It was like setting up a Tesco or something on some country lane. But I made 11 quid one Saturday, you know, selling 5p crisps and 10p drinks.
So you're 11 years old when you set up your first business. How old were you when you went into business seriously?
Well, yeah, let's put that aside because that's a half an hour story. But no, it was I was working in a care home as a caretaker, and just hating the way the business was run. And our Jack was born 16 years ago, gone in May, and I had 2 weeks off, and I just thought, you know what, I could set my own business up and get rid of this bloody job. And so I got some felt tips. Now bear in mind, 16 years ago, yeah, they didn't have printers back then, did they? Well, I didn't. I got some felt tips on a postcard, and put a postcard in the local shop window, and I got someone asking me, can I paint the outside of the house? I needed a ladder, so I went and did another job, got 45 quid for a ladder, paid for the ladder, painted his house, got 100 quid, and that 100 quid got me an advert in the paper. And that was the beginning of it all. And 16 years later, here I am, yeah.
My goodness me. And so this is the same business that you're building now. So the Victorian doors, yeah, is that how it started? I
started as a handyman. And the only clue I had of doing any of it was what my dad had taught me, really, and what I'd done around some rented houses that we'd had from over the years, you know. But I'm a quick learner, so.
It certainly sounds like it. And over the years, I mean, you've built a brilliant business now. And tell everybody about what it is that you're doing now.
We we restore period front doors, 1930s Victorian Georgian. I think the oldest one is 233 years old. She wanted a new door actually, and I just said I'm not making you a door. I either restore that one or I go home, and it was stunning. So we restore doors, and we make new period doors. Yeah.
Brilliant. And where are you based, Chris?
In Greater Manchester.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not far from Debra. She's just up the road from you. Yeah. So Chris, out of all of the lessons that you've learned, what would be one big lesson that you'd share with all of our entrepreneurs and ripple makers that are tuning in now? What would you say has been the hardest lesson you've learned? And if anybody comes up against this lesson, what would be your advice knowing what you know now?
I think the number one thing really is just keep on keeping on, just keep on plugging away, work hard, put the time in, and I think that's the number one really, isn't it? You know, if you don't try hard enough, what chance have you got? Because everyone else is your competition, and you've just got to try harder than them, you know. And I mean, you know, being a handyman, I was doing all sorts of stuff, and then all sorts of people were doing everything that I did. So I had no unique thing about me. So, you know, we went into joinery and kitchens and loft conversions and stuff like that. And when I did a front door, and the customer bought the door as well. The customer bought the door, and we just fit it, painted it, put the furniture on, and drove away. And I said to Tony, who worked for me at the time, I said, that is one grand Victorian door. And it's like light bulb, you know. And I think that was about 10 years ago, actually. And then just doing front doors and niching it right down. You know, find your niche really, is another massive one, you know. Find your niche, and we get inquiries from all over the UK, and saying that people don't do what we do.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm hearing so many lessons in what you just shared there. One of the biggest lessons I'm hearing is that you didn't start with, this is the perfect name of the company. You started serving, and you were serving for a lot of years, trying different things, experimenting, doing different jobs, working out what is it you enjoyed doing, where was your niche. I think so many people try and start out at the very beginning with everything perfect, and then they never get off the ground. And what I love about what you've just said is you got it off the ground. You started serving, and in serving, something happened and it just clicked, and the purpose of your business fell into place.
Yeah. We spoke this morning about growing a business organically, and I think if you start a business organically and find your way, you know, you've got to find where the money is first, you know, instead of just thinking, oh, that product is popular, let's sell that product on Amazon or eBay, and then you fail. And the reason you fail is because you've just done no market research. Well, starting a business organically and, you know, fitting some crap on someone's wall in a bathroom, or painting some 2 up, 2 down, an outside tap, you know, doing that sort of stuff, you find your way, and you find where the money is, and you find what you're good at as well. It's not just about the money, of course.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, I'd be a brain surgeon myself. Yeah.
Chris, I've asked all of the speakers that have been at RippleFest, and I'm going to ask everybody here tonight the same question just to wrap up. I can't believe how fast these interviews go. We're at the end of the interview already. I want to know, if you had to do it all over again, and I'm talking your business, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do sooner? Not what would you do, but what would you do sooner? What would you take action on faster?
Knowing what I know now, I would definitely 100% find somebody who had done what I've done. You know, I already did. You know, being in business 16 years, I've been in business more than that, of course, but in different things. But I've found other people and put up with them for a year. I found someone in December and it just wasn't a right fit, you know, but find someone who's been there and done it, and you use them, you know. And the thing is, yeah, you're going to have to pay them. That's what happens. You pay them, and it comes back to you, you know. What I've done since January, you know, we met in April. And what I've done since January, whatever money I've paid anybody since January has come back to me. That for me, that would be the number one thing, you know, because we can't go back. We can't go back and know what we know now. You know, 48 years it took me to know this shit.
Well, you found us. We found you. You found us. It's all good. You're in the right hands now.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Well, Chris, it's wonderful. Guys and girls, if you do become part of the mastermind, if you're not already part of the mastermind, if you do join us, then you'll see Chris every morning, 7 a.m. We get up, we mastermind, we meditate, we get really clear about what we're focusing on, that ripple of impact for the day, and off we go. And Chris, you're just such a beautiful addition to the energy that you bring every morning is fantastic. And to witness your unfolding over this last, I think, only about 6 or 7 weeks has just been magnificent. I mean, have you doubled the money that's coming in? I can't remember what you said. You've had a significant increase in sales, haven't you?
Yeah. With my turnover from January, you know, past 12 months, and my turnover now has doubled. Yeah.
Incredible. That's brilliant. Well done, Chris. We're gonna have to get you back. We're gonna have to get you back on another RippleFest because we've run out of time. But I sense there are many, many, many more stories behind that face of yours. You're like a treasure chest. I want to keep digging. But we are out of time. Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to come and be with us this evening. Guys and girls, give it up for Chris.
Thank you.
Chris, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, RippleFest, we move fast, we move very quickly. So we are going to move on to our next phenomenal speaker. We have an absolutely gorgeous soul who I was very blessed to meet about 3 years ago. I ran a big event, and one of the people that were attending the event invited Debra Sofia to come along. We hit it off straight away, and oh my gosh, it's been such an honor and a pleasure to witness this incredible woman's journey. So let me tell you a bit about Debra Sofia before we bring her on. Debra Sofia Magdalene is known worldwide as the Frequency Alchemist. She's an inspirational speaker, author, digital nomad, and one of the UK's leading evolutionaries, according to Source TV. Debra opens transformational doorways for you to raise your frequency, to empower yourself to be happy, healthy, and wealthy. She does this by returning you home to your innate superhuman blueprint from which you can create the life of your dreams. Debra brings many years of coaching, training, and mentoring together with extensive experience in entrepreneurship, personal development, business support, and training. She's designed and delivered programs for thousands of people to support them in achieving their desired outcomes. There's no doubt that Debra is a gifted healer and energy worker, and she uses cutting-edge frequency technology. We'll be finding a little bit more out about that in the interview. And she uses other tools with individuals and groups worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the amazing, the one and only ripple making extraordinaire, Debra Sofia.
Thank you, Sammy.
Welcome to RippleFEST, Debra.
Thank you for inviting me back again.
I know. I think this is a hat trick now. Haven't you been on RippleFEST 3 times?
I think I have.
And you got to interview me as well.
I did, and I have no idea what you're going to ask me, so I know what you felt like now.
I know, it was like payback time, wasn't it, when you got the I asked, I did it was RippleFEST 12, so last year, for those of you that don't know, I ran a RippleFEST where I brought 25 of the cast from Awakening Giants TV that I'm a big part of that TV show, and so I brought 25 of the cast, and then I realized that I'm one of the cast and I didn't have anyone to interview me, so I put a post out in our Ripple Makers group chat and said, who wants to interview me tomorrow? And Debra Sofia said, I will. And yes, I was in the hot seat sweating from the questions that she gave to me, so it's now my turn.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Well, Debra, I've loved learning from you over the years about energy and frequency, and I thought I knew a lot about it until I met you. And I mean, you just take it to a whole other frequency. Now, I mean, it's obvious that our results are based on energy, you know, the energy that we put into what we're creating. And, you know, we set ourselves on these amazing visions and missions, and they can all look good on paper. But when you actually start moving towards that vision, and when shit hits the fan and when things get rough, what do you do? Like, what would you suggest for our viewers who are on their mission? They know they've got to be positive and keep upbeat, but then they get those obstacles that throw them off their axis. I know there's a few people that are feeling that way right now, of like, you know, something's really, you know, a life event takes you right off course. How do you stay in the right energy and the right vibration to keep going? Have you got any examples of this in your life, Debra?
Yeah, I'm going through it right now, actually. You know, the shit hits a fan for all of us. It's not something that that is unique to any one person. And what I do is I don't react. I'm very, very still, and I pause, and I consider my options, and I send love to the situation, and I use Ho'oponopono, which is super powerful for dissolving situations. And then I just follow my intuition and my heart, and come from that heart space and look at all the reasons why that might be happening from different perspectives. So I'll look through my eyes, I'll look through that person's eyes, I'll look through the observer's eyes, you know, from a higher perspective, and then choose my response to it.
Well, I remember you, so many amazing stories that you shared over the years when I've interviewed you. In fact, one of the stories that you share in the Law of Brand Attraction book that we all published together was about an event with you and your husband when he gave you some news. Do you want to just dive a little bit into that for our viewers? Because that was quite a significant event that turned pretty much your life around, didn't it?
Yeah, it was very much my awakening, and it's when we were coming home from Liverpool on a car journey, and I knew that there was something wrong, something not right in the marriage. And, you know, I've sort of second guessed, my intuition told me, and I just said, you've got somebody else, haven't you? And he said, no, it's not the time to talk about it. And I said, oh, well, you definitely have then, you know. And it was like, oh my God, how do I respond to this, you know? And I was very quiet.
Because you've been married a long time, you have children and everything, like you built a life together.
I met him when I was 16 years old, and, you know, we got married when we were 24. We had 2 children who were 14 and 16 at the time. And this was happening when I was 44 years old. So we've been together a lifetime, really. And And I knew, because of the personal development training that I'd done, that I could choose my response and I could choose to give it an empowering meaning. And it took me 2 days to come up with the empowering meaning. And the meaning I gave to it was that he set me free and I can now become the person that I'm destined to be. So therefore, every time I felt, I thought about him leaving me, instead of going into the poor victim mode and poor me and, things like that, I was like, oh no, I'm super powerful. I'm now going to become the person that I'm destined to be. And I really genuinely felt really excited, because our perception is everything. And the story that we give to what's happening to us creates the outcome that we are actually writing into being.
Wow. And I mean, you just master this whole energy thing. There's so many times, even throughout the day, where things can happen to us as entrepreneurs. It's so easy to go into victim. And if you don't catch it, then you can end up on a totally different path. And I love the fact that you say it took you 2 days, because, it's easy to go, hang on, I'm supposed to be positive here. I can't be down in the dumps, and not feel into it. But surely you have to feel these things. If we just ignore them, then the energy just gets stuck and turns into, as I understand it, dis-ease. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. And I really honoured that process. And what I found really helped me, when I went to bed at night, I would allow myself to cry and get all that hurt and, feeling rejected and unloved and, going into fear as well about what does this mean for me, for the house, for the children, for the, the finances. And it's like, oh my God, how am I going to cope? And then it's like staying in the moment of now, so that, you're not caught up with that. And I find that journaling really helped me to get all those emotions out. Super important to honour those emotions and to allow them to be expressed, not to hold them back.
Well, you share with us the story about the peppermint oil. I love this story because as you were using your personal development, as you're coming out the other side of this, you were looking at career opportunities, you were looking at other things to do. I mean, you house sit, you pet sit, you're very rarely at home. You're always staying at someone's house looking after their animals. I love following you on Facebook. Guys and girls, if you're not following Debra already, make sure you follow her. She's always somewhere new with some new animal. Like, that is my dream life. I'd have to take all my animals with me. But Debra, you got into a totally new industry, didn't you, through peppermint oil? Tell us about that story.
I did. Well, when I turned 50, I decided that it was my time to start doing what I wanted. So I gave my children 6 months notice to leave home, and I sold my house, gave virtually everything away, and I've been a nomad ever since. So for the last 11 years, I've been a nomad. I haven't had a home. And I've been in the Amazon rainforest and seen how the plant medicines in the Amazon were so powerful. When I came back from my 11-month backpacking tour of South America, I was offering free hugs at the yoga show in Manchester, and my friend gave me a peppermint experience, and that one drop of peppermint, just inhaling it, completely changed my life. And my little voice in my head, that intuition, was screaming at me to buy a set of oils, and I didn't have any money whatsoever. But I've never let money stop me from doing anything. And so I got my credit card out, I bought a set of oils. And before I knew it, I sort of had an essential oil business without even planning it. And that was after breaking my rib and using my oils as my pain relief, and realizing how potent and how incredible they are as nature's healers. And so that led me down the road of, being studying aromatherapy and teaching essential oil classes and learning how to make vegan sugar-free chocolate using the oils. So it opened up a whole new world for me of the frequency of oils as well. Because like rose essential oil is the highest frequency of anything on the planet. This is vibrating at the frequency of unconditional love. And when you smell an essential oil, it goes to the limbic part of the brain, which completely changes your emotional state, and it tells the body what to do. So I just fell in love with essential oils.
Yes, I can see why. I love them as well. And Debra, like people say, you hear people say all the time, oh, if only I had a magic wand. Well, you're at the leading edge always of technology, and every time there's a new technology in the health industry, you're like the first person to be the breaking news reel of those things. And recently I had a chat with Debra, and she's got a magic wand. Debra, tell us about your magic wand.
Well, I've been working with quantum frequency technology since 2020, with the Healy device, and this led to a global business for me, offering quantum frequency sessions with clients worldwide and developing training for frequency practitioners. And then in April this year, I was looking for a new tool because I'd started to get some lumps under my left breast, and one turned to two, and it turned to a cluster and started to spread. And I thought, okay. And I've just set the intention for the right tool to come to me. And then I saw, some people talking about this new device, which uses terahertz frequencies. And I investigated it. And there again, that voice in my head was instructing me to buy one. So I bought one from abroad, and within a week of using it, the lumps that I'd had for 3-4 months completely disappeared. Also, when I was in the Amazon rainforest, I got a fungal foot infection. This was going back to 2013. After using the magic wand for 2 weeks, that cleared up. I'm using it on my father. I bought him his own wand because all you need to do is plug it in and blow it. It's so easy to use, and you can create terahertz water with it, which structures the water, and it carries the frequencies right inside the cells. And using the wand helps to get rid of any bad cells that are in the body, and it also stimulates the good cells that are there, including stem cells in the spine, which then go to the parts of the body that need it. So it's enabling the body to heal itself, which is phenomenal. And this is it. You just simply plug it in and blow it. So I'm now using this device myself, having the most incredible results with people with pain relief, for example, in 10 minutes, bringing pain down. I've had people with limps, the limps disappeared after a 15-minute treatment. And so there again, this has led to another global business for me just since April this year. And the good news is that we're not going to have to bring them in from abroad, because very soon they will be available in the UK. So I'm super excited, and also looking for business partners who are wanting to incorporate this into what they do, but also to market it, because every single home needs one of these devices.
I agree. I think that's so important. I can't believe how small it is. It just looks like a pair of hair straighteners or something.
Yeah, in fact, my daughter pointed out to me that the Dyson hair dryers are more expensive than this device. Yeah. And it's got 3 settings on it. When you turn it on, I'll just show you.
Yeah, so I was going to say, you said you switch it on and blow it. I mean, what does that mean?
So doing this, I can just blow it on location, and with your water, you simply charge your water up. It's so easy to use, it's ridiculous.
That's wild, guys.
You can also use it on your pets as well, Sammy. So it's like a wonderful way of giving support to humans. You can use it on newborn babies up to people who are very, very old. You can use it on pets, on plants. You can use it on your smoothies, your juices, your salads. It increases the light quotient in whatever you're doing, and the energy in that. I use my pendulum to test the energy, and it's incredible, the difference.
Wow. I mean, you you are just a business builder. It is part of you, isn't it? And one of the things that I just want to touch on coming towards the end of this interview is that there are so many healers, intuitives, coaches who are afraid to charge to heal people. And I think that's a real shame that people feel like they can't charge, yet you've created an entire global business through healing. So what would your advice be to the healers and the people that are like, oh, I can't charge, or, oh no, you know, this is a gift, I shouldn't be charging for it? What would your advice be to them?
A couple of things, actually. The first one is know your value. Some people need to have that energy exchange in order for healing to take place. Otherwise, it's not of value to them. And the other thing I'd say is know your niche. You know, who is it that you're targeting? And your time, you know, you've got to value your time.
Yeah, I think that's a considerable thing, that so many people don't value their time, because it's like, well, I'm just doing it anyway. But there's always a way that you can value your time and have others value it as well.
Yeah, but the other thing as well, I was going to say, is money is an energy exchange. It's just energy. And, you know, if somebody can't afford it, I mean, I've done treatments for free, but it's been an exchange for something of value that they can do. So when you're starting out with new technology, for example, I've been going out and trialing this device with different people, because I saw the testimonials and I thought, it's too good to be true, is this? And so I wanted to get my own evidence of how it's working and my own research of what it's actually doing. So I went out and I did, you know, like sessions with people and doing before and after videos, before and after photos, getting feedback, testimonials. And so people can value you in that way as well, with the testimonials, because then, you know, that's helping you to market what it is that you're doing. And it's that third party endorsement.
Yeah, very powerful. Debra, we've come to the end of your interview, and I have to ask you this question because it's what I want to ask all of you Ripple Makers as we come to the end of your interviews. If you had to do it all over again, Debra, what would you do sooner? What would you say, I wish that I did that sooner?
Yeah, I wrote a few things down for this, because as you asked this question earlier to Chris, and I thought, what would I say to that? And, you know, what I would say is create multiple streams of income, so that all your eggs aren't in one basket, because different things resonate with different people. Like my pet sitting business is a great way for me not to pay any bills, you know, so I get my accommodation. Yeah, I get paid to live in other people's beautiful homes, look after the pets. I've designed my life purposely. So I've got my income from my pet sitting. I've got my doTERRA business. I've got the Healy business, I've got the iTerra Care business, and I have, you know, other income streams through other sources as well, so that all your eggs aren't in one basket. And so that would be my advice. Brilliant.
We haven't had that one yet, so that's awesome. And you know what's great about all these interviews is each and every one of you says something totally different. So I mean, you mentioned about niching, Chris mentioned about niching, but ultimately what I'm hearing is, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure that you spread the risk, minimize your risk by spreading the risk. It doesn't mean you're not focusing still on one thing, because Debra Sofia, you're still known only as the frequency alchemist. You're not known to everybody for everything. You have absolutely niched yourself in energy frequency. And so you've got lots of interests and lots of things that interest you, and lots of modalities, lots of technology that you're working with, but they all drive towards one common purpose, and that is energy frequency. I love what you've created, Debra. Thank you so much for coming and joining us this evening. I love you. Guys and girls, give it up for Debra Sofia.
Thank you, Sammy.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I'm sure we'll have you back on again. Debra Sofia keeps returning because she's so freaking awesome, isn't she? Give it up for Debra in the comments there. And I'd love to know what your takeaways have been so far from our first two speakers. So let's come to our grand finale speaker. We have a woman who I've known for many, many years. I think we go back about 11 or 12 years now, maybe even more. And Action Amanda made a big impression on me the first time I met her at an event in London. And you know, when somebody, like, you just resonate with them, but they're like this bright light, this huge bright light, you know, and just lighting up the room, completely lighting up the room. And I watched this woman go around like a networking like you wouldn't believe. I'm sure that out of all the 800 people or so that were at that event, I'm pretty sure Amanda knew all of those people by the end of that event, and that everybody knew who Amanda was. She's lovingly known as Action Amanda and has built a huge brand as Action Amanda with the Action Amanda's club. So you've got a club, you've got a franchise that you've been building. There's all kinds of stuff that Debra, that Amanda has been building over the years since I've known her. But she's also now an award-winning celebrity children's entertainer. She's the CEO of Amanda's Action Club. She's the creator behind the world's most fun physical development concept, teaching preschool children how to be healthy and active from an early age. And having spent 28 years working within the early years sector, Amanda was invited by the Children's Activity Association to become the children's first champion in Parliament, encouraging policymakers to put children first at the heart of all decision making. Her global animation TV series featuring Action Amanda on different missions to create a world of endless possibilities and adventure is well on its way to achieving Amanda's lifelong impact vision. And this Wonder Woman is certainly a one for you to watch. Guys and girls, please give it up for the amazing Amanda Frolich. This is one firework you want to watch. Amanda!
Sammy, you do realise this is the most time I've sat still in, well, forever. You don't see me sitting still.
I don't think I ever have seen you sitting still in all the years I've known you. Even when you broke both of your legs, you still weren't still.
Exactly. I was still in action, even though I couldn't move.
You were. Well, Amanda, for those people that don't know you, I'm surprised if people don't know you in this community, but for those that don't, that are coming in, that are new, could you tell us a little bit about what you do and why you do it?
Well, I think I've got this one off to a T now. I am a dynamic and fun-loving educator who influences preschool children how to be active and healthy through high-energy educational activities to music. So I run around town in my white van, and I have nursery contracts. I hire venues to run my classes. I have a party business. We'll talk about the franchise a little bit later. And I make my own funky nursery rhyme albums for children. And I also have an app.
You've got it all going on, girl. You've got it all going on. But since I've known you, you've been on this massive mission to get kids being healthy and active from an early age. That's what I remember from you the very first time we met. One of the things that I want to know, Amanda, because there's a big thing with a lot of the entrepreneurs that I meet, many thousands of entrepreneurs every month that I'm in contact with through our social channels and YouTube and all the ways that we communicate with people. And a massive theme that comes up is the fear of being visible, the fear of being judged, the fear of being seen. Yet you are like the total opposite of that. Like you just seem to have no problem with being seen, being visible. You even went on Britain's Got Talent. I mean, you had a hell of an experience just there in itself. That could take up a whole RippleFest with that interview. But you know, you've come up against these same things that other entrepreneurs do. It's just they don't seem to faze you. Does it faze you and you just ignore it? What's your strategy? Or does it not? Like, how do you go out there and be so visible that you just seem like you don't care if somebody judges you?
No, I think if you believe in yourself, then and you're on a mission, then you've just got to be unstoppable. And whatever hurdles are in the way, my motto is go straight to the top. And I think from a very early age, I knew that I wanted to build something global. And again, if you have a gift, you've just got to go for it. And I think with me, my motto is never, ever, ever give up. And I love this title, When Shit Hits the Fan, because there has been so much shit with me. I've come across. And actually, a friend of mine called me the other day, and she was in a situation where she said, I haven't got clarity. I don't know what to do. Amanda, how do you just keep going? And I think it's just a confidence thing. And I just love what I do. If you're passionate, and I think also I thrive on energy. And I once went on a business course, and the presenter put up on the board, energy is everything. And I think I love surrounding myself with those who lift me higher. I've got lots of other friends in business who I can just phone up at 11 o'clock at night. And if I've got a problem, I think it's really good not to keep problems inside, just talk about it and ask others if they've had those experiences. But I just love what I do. I know that one day I'll get to where I need to be, and just keep going. That's it.
Well, one of the stories that I love about your journey was when you went over to, I think it was Dubai. You got invited over to Dubai. I think you were launching a franchise or something, and you were like, okay, well, I'm just going to go to the top. You did exactly what you just said there. I'm going to go to the top. Can you give some examples to our Ripple makers who might be thinking, you know, I don't know how to get visibility. I don't know where to start. I mean, you're the queen of visibility, constantly in the press, always featured here, there, and everywhere, being interviewed on the TV. What would your tips be for our Ripple makers that want to be more visible?
Well, if we use that example, about going to Dubai, and I'll try and do it very, very quickly. I was entertaining at a child's birthday party, and the nan and granddad had paid for my entertainment, and they watched me and they said, Amanda, we've just moved to Dubai, and there's no entertainers. They have Filipinos doing face painting and balloon modelers, but no actual entertainers. We think there's a market for you. So I rushed home and I said to my husband, we're going to Dubai. He said, I don't want to go. I said, you're going. I just need you with me. And I just Googled the night before things to do with children in Dubai. So I set up a meeting with a woman who ran a magazine and an online portal so that parents can find out what to do with your children. So that was my first interview or meeting. And that was really good. She gave me some hints and tips. So my husband's sunning himself at the Hilton while I'm running around with a suit, with a briefcase in taxis. I thought, right, I've got this credibility as a celebrity entertainer. I'm going to use that. Dubai like to talk about celebrities. So I thought, right, what do I do? Oh, I'll rock up to the national newspaper and tell them to run a story, because I'd gained a gig in Abu Dhabi Golf Club to go out a few months later. So I went up in the lift. I was thinking to myself, Amanda, what are you doing? But you've just got to do this. You're on a mission. So I stormed in. I said, oh, can I speak to the reporter? I'm going to be doing a gig at Abu Dhabi Golf Club. Could you write a story? Here's an article of a magazine I was in. He said, yeah, great. So then I thought, right, I had Time Out Kids Dubai magazine in my hotel room that I read previously. And I thought, right, I need to be in that. So I told the cab driver to take me to Media City, rocked up there and just said, can you write a story? I'm a celebrity entertainer. They said, fine. So I was due to then go to Abu Dhabi to do this big gig at a golf club. But 4 days before, I unfortunately got run over and broke both legs in a car accident. So the national newspaper had already said celebrity entertainers coming over. I had to phone them up and say, I'm really sorry, but celebrity entertainers crippled in a UK hospital. So shit hit the fan then. But fortunately, I'm fit, I'm healthy. I recovered in 17 and a half weeks, got the insurance money, took my brake dancers back with me to Dubai and entertained at the Landis and the Palm and the Jumeirah Beach Hotel. So nothing will stop me, because it's, you know, it's a bit like bounceability. You've got to have that bounceability factor. If something brings you down, you just pick yourself up. There's nothing you can do about it and move on. So that's a typical story of how you just keep going.
Amazing. I mean, what is your strategy when people say no to you? Do they ever say no? Or you're like, I didn't hear a no. I'm just going to keep going until you say yes to me.
Another quick example. I love to help young entrepreneurs in business. And I gained work experience for my daughter. She's studying her A-levels. She wants to do digital marketing. So I use my contacts at Great Ormond Street because I am their entertainer. So I've got her in the marketing department and branding for a week. And then her boyfriend wants to be an engineer. And I saw something on Facebook that McLaren's were looking for people to gain work experience, and there was only 10 children that were picked. So I helped him with his CV, and I got my journalist to, you know, with all the copy, and he got through to the final stage and he was rejected. And the disappointment on his face, I thought, no, he's going to have some engineering work experience. So I was on my way to work about 3 weeks ago, and I just stumbled on this sign, engineering supercars. And I phoned them up on my lunch break, and I spoke to a lovely guy called Kabir, told him the story of Bobby. And I said, oh, can I have an email address, please? Right there and then, I sent him Bobby's CV. So can I have your phone number, please? So I sent him Bobby's interview. He had to do a telephone interview, sent them the 2 questions he had to answer on WhatsApp. I said, what's the chance of you taking on this guy work experience? He's absolutely phenomenal. He's an A student. He's so passionate. He had the disappointment. And he said, do you know what? And literally, I made him read the CV there and then. He said, you're right, he is. Anyway, yesterday, Bobby got the interview and we bagged that work experience. I don't take no for an answer.
That is literally, where there is a will, there is a way.
Action Amanda way.
The action Amanda way. Amanda, I don't think I've ever met anybody that has been so focused on the mission. Like, I've never known you to come off path from that mission. You've never diversified. You've always been so focused. But one of the things that you did get a little bit distracted with was franchising. Can you share a little bit about that story? Because there might be people that are tuning in that are thinking about either certifying others in what they do, or creating a franchise, or licensing. You know, we've talked about product creation. We've done lots of things like that. Well, there's great opportunities to license your products, but you learned some things the hard way, didn't you? Can you share a little bit about that story in a few minutes?
When shit hits the fan within this story, but very, very, I'm going to tell you a whole 10 years franchising
in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes. So, I met Sammy at this amazing event, and I knew that I had to find some money to work with this incredible lady. So it just so happens I had a meeting with a toy manufacturer in Leeds. So I thought I would pop in and have a 5-hour workshop with Sammy on the way back. My poor husband had to lose himself in that time. We went through all this branding experience with Sammy, and she said, Amanda, why are you franchising? We've gone through all of this. Why are you not just building yourself as a brand? And did I listen to Sammy? No. I continued on that franchising journey, and about £150,000 later got burnt by paying top consultants £45,000 alone in consultancy fees. They then recommended me to the Beckham's lawyers, Field Fisher, for the agreement. They recommended me a hideous booking system. I'm not going to bore everybody, but the shit hit the fan when the money just started to drain. And there was at one point when my accountant phoned me up and she said, Amanda, if you don't find 15 grand in 3 days, you are going down. So at that point, I just ran upstairs and I was just looking through all my paperwork, and I saw that on my Barclays mortgage, there was a pot of money, you know, if you wanted to use it for a new kitchen or a renovation. And I literally phoned up the bank the next day, had a meeting. I said, look, can I have £15,000? And they said, yeah. So luckily I was able, it took 7 years at 300 and something pound to pay off that 15 grand. But had I not had that, you know, that thought of where can I find this money, then Amanda's Action Club would have been no longer. And in answer to your question that you've been asking everybody, what would be my main advice? It would be, first of all, find a great accountant, because I've had 3 accountants in the past, and I've been burnt in so many ways. But find a great accountant. And for me, it's all about systems and procedures. Find the most, amazing booking system that will work for you and is really simple for your customers. Make it so easy for everyone at a click of a button to book. And also, always get every single thing in writing. Because again, I've been burnt so many times, and for me, that would be my lessons learned.
And stay in lane.
going back to the franchising, I've gone full circle. It's me as the brand, and I have 2 other girls that run parties. They've been with me for 15 years. I could grow this business beyond belief, but I want the quality. I want to keep my name. I want to keep my reputation. And it's not to say that, don't franchise. I might even now license, which is a lighter way of franchising. But it will be finding the most phenomenal people, but just keep that control. But these days, who has got hundreds of thousands of pounds to put into a franchise, a 5-year agreement? What with the way the economy and the world is going, I think it'll be easier to train lots of people at one time for a lesser amount and then take £100 a month fee. I think that's going to be the way forward for me. A bit like body pump and Zumba is the way I'm going to go with this.
Yeah, well done. And there's lots of readjustments that you've made along the way. And guys and girls that are tuning in right now, or if you're watching the replay, you're going to make adjustments along the way. Don't set out for everything to be perfect. And the advice that I gave to Amanda all those years ago was, franchising, you could go for that in the future. But if you haven't built a solid brand, if you haven't created asset in your business, if you haven't created a habit with customers that want more and more of you, then what asset do you actually have to turn into a franchise? So unless you've put those things in place, you will sink a lot of money very quickly. And as Amanda found out, that happened to her. I remember about 8 years later, Amanda got in contact with me on Messenger and was like, I didn't listen to you. I'm going to listen to everything you say to me from now on.
Poverty. I always wanted the best of the best because I thought that was the way to go. And Sammy, well, we all know perfect is poverty, and that's another lesson learned.
It sure is. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. I know there's so many stories we could dive into, but we've run out of time tonight. So ladies and gents, give it up for Amanda.
Thanks so much for having me.
You are so very welcome. My goodness, what lessons we've learned this evening. And that's the point. And what I've heard from each of the speakers that have been on here over the last 3 days, what it really comes down to is find the right people earlier. Don't try and do this on your own, and be guided. Really feel into it. As Debra Sofia said, take a breath. Stop trying to create the ocean all in one go. One drop at a time is enough. As Chris said, he got going, he got started, he was doing things that were, tiny little jobs, but that led him to his purpose. Some of you might be watching this now, totally unsure about what your purpose is. So help somebody else with their purpose along the way. Or if you have an inkling about what your purpose is, but you have to earn some money right now, as you've heard from Debra Sofia, as you've heard from Amanda, get resourceful. You have so many resources around you. When the shit hits the fan, you always find everything that you need to, don't you? Like Amanda, shit hit the fan. You've got to find 15 grand in 3 days. She found the money. You always find the money to do the things that you want to do. You always find the time to do the things that you want to do. You always find the people that can give you the how when you invest in the right things in the right way. And, you know, I think what's really important is that you really get quiet with yourself and think about what your next best step is. So thank you so much to our incredible change makers that have shown up for us today, for our amazing change makers that have been with us for the last 2 days as well. If you've loved this session, if you've loved RippleFest, please, please, please take a photo of what we're doing here. Share it out on your social media. Tell everybody to come across and join us in the One Drop movement group. We're going to be here each and every month. There's lots of things that we do in between. And if you haven't joined us on Circle yet, remember there is a brand advice center. And if you've got any questions at all, tell me what your questions are, because then I can write articles and create content that not only help you, but help others to go through this same old journey. Let's do this together instead of doing it on our own, because individually we are one drop, but together we are the ocean. So next month in July, our next RippleFest, get your calendars out. Make sure you write this down. Our next RippleFest summit is the 26th, 27th and the 28th of July. So we'll again be doing an hour of power each day for 3 days. We have so far, we have got books, Navin Jaitley, amazing entrepreneur and expert in sales. We've got Wendy Cheverton, who's going to be joining us as well, incredible hypnotherapist. Krishna Ruparelia, she is phenomenal. She works with lots of companies, really changing their wellness in their organizations. We've got Debra Morrison, who is on a mission to make sure that no one ever leaves this earth without having lived the lifestyle that they deserve. She's incredible where it comes to money, making money and keeping money. She'll help you to do that. So we've got Deborah Morrison coming on. We've got Sue Bailey, just the most beautiful, bright, shining light. What a lighthouse Sue is for the neurodiverse community. And we've got Norma Sherwin, who joined Ripple Makers Mastermind yesterday. She is making great waves in the care industry. Now, I've got 3 more places for speakers, guys and girls. So if you fancy being on this global stage, then do reach out to me, send me a direct message, and let's see if we can get you on the next stage. You've got 3 places, so reach out and let's see if we can get you on. So guys and girls, I hope that you've loved what you've seen at RippleFest, and make sure you use some of the resources. Remember, in the guide section of the One Drop Movement group, there are challenges in there. There's some great stuff. 5K in 5 days, 5 dream clients in 5 days. There's some really good stuff in there, as well as some of our past RippleFest interviews. So dive in, make the most of the resources that you have available to you. And by the way, we've shown up to support you, to give you any kind of inspiration or ideas and tips, things that you can take into your own business. And we do that from the bottom of our heart to raise money for charity. And as you know, the charity that we choose to support at RippleFest is the Brave and Bright Foundation, which, as you've heard from our lovely Yoka Hutma, who you heard a few days ago, she actually set Brave and Bright up because she saw so many orphans through COVID who had lost their parents, lost their identity, lost their home, lost their clothes, their toys, they lost everything. And there's one lady that she knows that lives locally to her daughter, Yoka's daughter, just outside of Cape Town, who's taken 22 of these children into her own home. She's given a job up, she's given everything up to look after these kids and provide them with love, support, food, school clothing, education, the bus to and from school, and that all takes money that she doesn't have. So please, please, please dig deep. If you can afford £5 or £10, please pay it forward, drop it forward to the Brave and Bright Foundation. I'm going to put a link to the Brave and Bright Foundation in the group chat just now. So if somebody could post that for me, actually, I'm going to put it on Zoom. So Amanda, Deborah, or Chris, if you could copy that email address and post that in the Facebook Live right now, that'd be really helpful. But ultimately, Yoka is funding this and supporting this herself. So if you can go onto PayPal and use the email address that I've just shared there, all you need to do, go to PayPal, put that address in, and then send £5, £10, whatever you can afford, send it across, because it's going to make a huge difference in the lives of those kids. So until next time, be that ripple you want to see in the world, commit to supporting each other, come here, get the support for yourself. I'm so great at so many things, but I'm absolutely shit at mind reading. So if you need help, please reach out. I'm here for you. I'm sending you lots and lots of love, and we'll look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Take care, mwah, and we'll see you in the group. Bye for now.